What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Mills back again with the Overwatch 2 gameplay today. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the last couple of videos that I've put out. So I have been putting just gameplays out there, giving you guys an intro, letting you know what's going on in the video, a little bit of a backstory to the video, and then I've just been letting it play out from there. Well, today we're going to have a video playing in the background, and I'm going to be talking about some of the changes that are coming in the future with Overwatch 2.
Like, it's plenty of healing.
So we're going to be
You have the
talking
utility
mainly
one,
about
and then I have,
character
like, the
buffs
damage
or
one,
nerfs, and the most recent patch that's coming up is going to be some character nerfs, as well as some things that I would like to personally see in the future. Alright guys, a couple things real quick before we get into the video. So we have just reached our first 10 subscribers here on YouTube, and I know some people are going to see this video and they're going to laugh at me being excited over 10 subscribers on YouTube, but it means the world to me. You have to start somewhere, and the first 10 are going to be the hardest. The first 100 are going to be the hardest. The first 1,000 are going to be the hardest. But I'm doing this for you guys, to bring you guys content, to share something that I'm passionate about, that I enjoy doing every single day, that I very much would like to be doing as a full-time job. So just know that I appreciate it, and I could not do it without every single one of you. That being said, if you're new and you enjoy this video and you want to see other content, subscribe to the channel. It's 100% free. It helps my channel grow. It helps this community grow. And it helps me to continue bringing content to you guys every single day. So please, if you're new and you like the content, like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel. Also, for those of you that do not know, for the first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we are going to be doing a giveaway as soon as we reach our first 1,000 subs. I've got something planned for you guys. You're not going to want to miss it. So hit that sub button. Let's grow this channel. And who knows, you might win something cool. Alright, so now that we got all that fun stuff out of the way, let's get into the video. So we're going to be talking about some changes that are coming up in Overwatch 2, as well as some things that changed upon release of Overwatch 2 that maybe you didn't know about. So let me know in the comments if you knew about these things already, or if you didn't know about some of these changes that happened. We're going to be talking about things with each individual class that are different. Each class now has kind of like a perk for choosing that role. So we're going to talk about that, as well as the upcoming changes to characters. And then we're going to get into some things that we would like to see in the future. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to be talking about is retaining your ult charge when switching characters mid-match. So this is a change that I actually really like, because when other players change comps mid-game and you have to counter accordingly, it really sucks to be over halfway to an ult and lose all of your progress. Instead of now losing your ultimate charge completely, you still retain 30% of it, which I feel like it's kind of the perfect number. It's not too much, but it's not like enough for it to be game breaking. Like it would be a lot different if, let's say, you know, I had an ult, I switch characters, and I immediately have their ult. That would be broken. Also having like 50%, it would take you one good push, maybe a couple picks, maybe not even a couple picks to get that ult charge and completely change the game. So this is a change that Blizzard made that I really like. I think it's great for comp. I think it really helps out in trying to counter the other team's strategy, and it's just an overall good change for ranked play. Okay, so next we have individual abilities, or perks, if you will, for choosing specific roles. So the first one we're going to be talking about is for the DPS. So now when you're using a DPS, you are going to gain a 25% movement and reload buff for a whole 2.5 seconds when eliminating an enemy. So this perk does not stack, meaning that on a double kill, triple kill, quadruple kill, it is not going to continually give you that speed and reload buff. But it is great if you're facing individual enemies, if they are kind of staggered out. So let's say I eliminate a DPS and then a Mercy pops in for a res. I will gain that boost again as long as the time in between kills has gotten the cooldown to where it's not a double kill. So I would highly encourage you guys, if you're using a character like Soldier that has a magazine, to utilize that reload speed buff, especially when you start getting into team fights. This is going to help you win more 1v1s. It's going to help you eliminate more people quicker. It is going to help you get out of situations where maybe you would have died before, or maybe where you would have been stuck reloading when you have a character under half health. Now you're going to have a full clip. That way you can finish that character off as well. Okay, next we're going to be talking about supports. So now our healers have a passive healing ability for themselves that grants 15 HP per second after taking no damage for at least 1.5 seconds. So this passive healing is a great change in my opinion. It's going to help a lot if, say, you have a tank or a DPS going specifically for you and your team does a great job, protects you, you heal your team. You're not sitting there low HP now to where the next wave can come and jump on you. Or even if they were sending one in to distract so the other 5 could jump on you after that, you're not going to have to deal with that downtime of either A, waiting on a Moira orb to pop back up, waiting for your teammate to come and heal you, going and finding the ground spawn health packs that are around the map, or waiting for one of your teammates to get damaged for you to heal them to then gain some kind of healing ability for yourself. So it's really going to give you the ability to stay in the fight, especially after you specifically get jumped on, because we all know that healers are the most important part of an Overwatch comp. And if it's a good team, more than likely they're going to be trying to jump on your healers, stagger them, and then ultimately your team is going to cave at that point. So a lot of people that understand competitive Overwatch know just how strong your healers actually are and how necessary it is to protect them at all costs. All right, and last but not least, we have the passive ability for tanks. So all tanks have a 30% knockback resistance now, and they also provide 50% less ult charge when they are damaged. So for characters like Sojourn, she gains charge for her abilities very, very quickly, shooting tanks and then using her right click to take out supports. But this is going to prevent you from farming tanks to get your ult with that character, which we'll talk about Sojourn later in the video, because that is something that I would like to see get nerfed a little bit in the future. I think she's very broken right now, and I think she should have been on this list of upcoming nerfs, but again, we'll talk about it later. All right, so now that we've talked about the kind of passive abilities that each role is going to have, let's talk about how health works now. The extra health that you gain from ults, such as Lucio's ult or Brigette's ult, where you have that little green bar at the bottom, is not considered shield anymore. It is considered over health. And what this over health is going to do, number one, it gives you a ton of extra health. It is different for each character, but it is also going to reduce the ult charge gain by 50% when enemies are damaging you while this effect is active. So now not only is it going to keep you alive through high damage situations, it's also going to make it to where enemies are not farming as much ult charge when they're shooting the group of you there. So I think it's very useful and very good for comp. Also, armor now reduces damage by 30%. This is huge, especially for characters like Symmetra. This is going to give you more of an ability to tank. So previously in Overwatch 1, armor was just a second bar of health, if you will. They had to get through your armor to get to your actual health. And for Symmetra, it really just worked as her 200 HP with the ability to kind of replenish that as you were damaging enemies or gaining charge with your turrets, right? So now, as well as replenishing that shield, that armor, you're going to be reducing the damage taken, which I think is going to make characters like Symmetra a lot stronger. Of course, she did kind of get a little bit weaker because shields in the game are a lot less common now that we're down to one tank. So it made Sim more of a situational character than a play her every game character. You can still be effective with her every game, but the effectiveness is only going to go up if they have enemy tanks that have shields. And of course, if they're staying grouped, it's going to be very strong as well. But overall, Symmetra kind of got buffed, but also kind of got nerfed. Let me know what you guys think of this change, especially if you're a Symmetra player. Okay, now moving into the actual nerfs for characters that are coming up. First on the list is Sombra, which I am so looking forward to this character being nerfed. I have been running into her in every single comp game that I'm in. The amount of time that is spent being hacked, especially if you're a character that is getting focused, is ridiculous. It becomes very annoying. Even if you switch, you're still getting hacked every second that she is there. And the damage that she does right now is insane. So that hack ability duration is going to be reduced by 0.25 seconds. So it used to last 1.75. It's now going to last 1.5 seconds. Enemies that have just been hacked are no longer going to be valid targets for hacking until the duration of the effect wears off. So now, instead of being the only character that gets spam hacked, she's going to have to wait for the duration of the hack to wear off and then come back and hack again. Also, that damage multiplier of plus 40% has been reduced to 25%, which I am very, very happy with, because right now, especially with a 60 round clip, if you have somebody that has good aim, they will come behind you and melt you. And I know what you're saying, well, just have somebody watching the backline the whole time. Even with somebody watching the backline, she can come behind you who is turned around from the other 4 players and hack you and put half of a clip into you before you turn around. Some people may be like, oh, well, not me, because I'm the greatest DPS ever. And if you are one of those people, then I salute you, because you really are the greatest DPS ever if you can turn around and kill a Sombra before she does over half of your health in a matter of seconds. One more thing about Sombra, her ult is very broken as well. The fact that it does damage on top of hacking your entire enemy team for 5 seconds, rendering you essentially helpless, is a little bit over the top. The fact that now she's going to be able to do damage to all of you at the increased 40% per bullet taken. In 5 seconds, she has the ability to take out both your healers in almost an instant, especially if other people are shooting them as well. All she's really having to do is either A, finish them off, or B, take the initial shots to drain over half their health almost instantly. Again, 60 round clip. It takes, 2 bursts, 30 and 30, and you're going to have healers and DPS both very low, if not dead, in a very short amount of time. Second on the list is Genji. So Genji is not being nerfed too hard, and I know Genji mains are upset about the Genji nerf, but honestly, he is a little strong right now. In terms of being able to output damage, if there's a good Genji player and he understands how to dive in, reflect damage, do damage, dive back out, and then combo that with his ult, he is very hard to counter. Genjis will be in your backline constantly. They will be going for your supports. Right now, they're, 2-shotting supports, 3-shotting supports, and then diving out. You're going to see most Genji players in your backline for a good portion of the game. They're going to be attacking your supports. They're going straight for your healers most every time. And then once they take out your healer, they're going to attack you. And if they feel like they can't win the fight, they're just going to dash right back out to their healers, get healed, wait their time, and they are coming right back in. They're more of a nuisance than anything, but a good Genji player is very hard to counter. The ammo that Genji has, his reserves are going to be reduced from 30 to 24, which is really just two shots, or a burst of shots, if you will, with Genji, because he shoots in 3s. So 2 bursts are going to be removed from Genji, as well as his shuriken damage is going down from 29 to 27. The shuriken damage, I do not think that you guys are going to notice that much. Of course, like I said earlier, Genji mains are going to be upset about it, but I don't think you're really going to notice too big of a difference with the damage. Maybe on tanks, it's going to be a little harder for him to melt tanks, but for the most part, when he's going in and fighting your supports, it's still going to seem like the same kind of Genji fight, especially if it's a good Genji. So I think this one was also a necessary nerf. Again, he was a little bit strong, not too overpowered, and they're also not nerfing him that bad. All right, so next we have Diva, who is also very strong right now. Now, the nerf on Diva is not going to be a huge difference maker either. You're not going to notice too much of a nerf. So her fusion cannon spread has been increased from 3.5 to 3.75. I don't necessarily know the parameters of what that is, but basically you're just going to see a larger spread on your left click. Also, her booster impact damage has been reduced from 25 to 15, which that is going to help a lot with her diving on your supports and melting them before you can even do anything, but it's not going to negate it completely. So Diva is still going to have a purpose and be very strong, which she should be. Diva, I think, is one of the best tanks in the game. She always has been. She got nerfed into the ground in the original Overwatch, and I hate to really see that they have to nerf her again, but I think the change is going to be good, and overall it's going to balance the game a lot more. All right, and last but not least, we have Zarya, who also is incredibly busted right now. So these are three characters that really needed to be nerfed that I'm very glad they're doing. So for Zarya, the barrier duration has been reduced from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds. Now, I don't know what the time was in Overwatch 1, but the barrier duration right now, especially with having 2 bubbles, seems like it is longer than it was in the previous game. So I'm very happy to see that go down by a whole half second. Also, the cooldown for her barrier has increased by a full second. So, again, having that extra barrier in the first place is huge, especially if you do a dive comp. Again, if you're going to go with a Genji Zarya, you could bubble a Genji that goes into the middle of somebody's offense and absorbs a ton of damage. Bubble him to get out. You could bubble yourself and jump in. There's just so many possibilities of what you can do to gain charge for yourself. And when she gets charged up, she is strong. So, in my opinion, another good change, another necessary change. It's going to help out a ton in comp because right now the meta is Zarya, Genji, Diva, Sombra, and Sojourn. I think it's actually going to be viable for you to run whatever character you actually like to play instead of just, the current meta, Sojourn, Genji, Zarya, and then your 2 healers. So, the changes overall, I think, are going to be great for the game. I'm looking forward to seeing the balance in competitive play. Obviously, strategy is still part of comp, and you're going to have to counter what the other team plays, but this is going to make it more to where each character is going to have to play to their specific ability instead of just having the ability to shred everyone and everything that comes in their sight. All right, so now that we've talked about all the confirmed nerfs, I would like to talk about one character in specific that 100% needs a nerf, in my opinion, and that is Sojourn. She is busted. You see her in most every high level comp. That is just because you're not going to be able to keep up competitively if you do not use her. Her ability to start to dismantle teams is next to none in Overwatch right now. The railgun charges way too fast, in my opinion, especially if you're just shooting tanks. There are things about her that I like that are specific to her. I like the fact that she is not a hit scan character, so you do kind of have to lead your shots. But still, if you're good at Overwatch and you know how to lead your shots, you're going to build that railgun charge up very quickly. And the ability to one-shot a support out of thin air is quite OP. If you headshot with her right click, it is game over. If you're good with that right click, you will dismantle teams in a matter of seconds, and it's very hard to counter if you get her moving too. With that sliding ability, she can get out of situations faster than most characters, and honestly, the movement with her is quite broken at the moment. So I would love to see Blizzard do something about this, maybe change the cooldown for her slide ability, make that a little bit longer in between slides. take down some of the damage maybe that she does either with left click or right click. I would like to see the right click unless you have damaged the opponent already, not to one-shot it. I do not think at 100% you should have a railgun that immediately takes out a support or a DPS, but that's just me personally. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I had a good time making this one. I'm excited to see where Overwatch goes in the future, especially when we have new characters that come out after the ones that are currently in. Maybe we're going to see some characters that are even more OP than the ones that are in the game currently, but I think those OGs are always going to be the most OP. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week. Thanks for watching the video. If you did enjoy the content, leave me a like, leave me a comment, hit that sub button if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, alright? Peace.
It's not really supposed to. I'm gonna just mauled.
We're doing this.
Is it my healing? Does it embarrass you?
Popsicle cannon online. Let's run them.
I love how the diva thought that diva was or their tank was thought diva was the play against the Zarya.
I'll see this
Bro, yeah.
resolved.
Diva.
Zarya's diva counter. And me. And the Sojourn thing.
Sojourn's kind of busted. Like, I
He's got a
don't
very
think
big headshot hitbox.
I don't think it's good versus a Zarya because you don't have as big of a target. Like,
I missed my bounce.
they're going left.
Alright, May's on the case. What's she gonna do? Oh, she actually did do something. She's very charged too, care. Oh, he's up top again, dude.
They got me. Willie's picked their Zarya. Are you dead?
Not yet, but I'm about to be. I don't know how much more healing I can do, feller. I'm giving her all she's got.
Oh, you got 21k.
Like, I run out of it eventually, unless it's like, there has to be a good defense so I can properly get the goods. Soldier's behind again.
Oh, get him.
He's all the way up top now. I'm coming with you. That's a good all.
Behind.
Of that time. Almost 23k. This is you and him, right? Yeah, when I die here. Oh, I want to see this. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. He didn't do too bad.